Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to come to my favorite city in Sussex County, and that is Seaford, Delaware. When I was with DEDO, I had the great privilege of working with the mayor, the town manager, Dolores Slatcher, and Tricia Newcomer. I got to work with the greatest people in the world when I was Secretary of Economic Development, but none better than the people here in Seaford. Seaford is a town that has had its share of misfortunes through the years, but it has never lost its spirit and its drive. So for me, when I get the chance to come back to Seaford, and the mayor was yelling at me that I hadn't been here in a month around 10 minutes ago, so I will be back sooner than later. It's just fun to see, and I forgot that Riverfest was this weekend. Jeff didn't give us a lot of information except you get to talk. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. I want to talk to you about thinking big, which is the theme of this TEDx talk, and clearly it's what Seaford is trying to do, think big. When I was privileged to work at Happy Harry's, as many of you know, Happy Harry's was a family business that was started by my mother and my father back in 1962. In fact, they started the business in a 600 square foot store the same day that Johnny Carson went on TV. Regrettably, my dad fell ill in early, or actually late 1970s, which necessitated a lot of things having to change. And he asked me to come into the business in 1986 to actually take over running the business. I will tell you that I would have much rather had him live on, but that didn't happen, and he passed away in '87. So some of you can say the success that I have was an accident of birth in some ways. When my dad basically handed over the keys, he said that we had 16 stores. All of our stores were in Newcastle County except one, which was in Smyrna. And that truthfully was still in Newcastle County, but we used to like to think it was still Kent. And there was no movement to go anywhere else in the state. This was when healthcare, you went to your doctor, you got a prescription, you went to the drugstore, you paid cash, you didn't have a copay, you just paid for the whole prescription. Well, healthcare changed dramatically in the early 1990s with the HMOs, and where you would pay a copay. And in the beginning, the HMOs, you didn't pay anything for your drugs. You paid at most 50 cents copay. I know that's a far cry for a lot of us to remember, but that was 25, 30 years ago. And what used to be 10% of the business in our stores became 70% of our business were prescriptions. And the front of the stores where we sold toothpaste and all that other stuff was 30%. And it was important that we, if we were going to survive, develop critical mass. Over the next 20 years, I was fortunate enough to have a team that allowed me to grow the business from 16 stores to 76 stores, and from 66 million in sales to 480 million in sales, that allowed us to become the 10th largest drug chain in the United States. Unfortunately, as many of you know, and I can say unfortunately because I'm past the 5 years now that I can say good or bad things about Walgreens, the truth is we got out because we could no longer control our business. Our business was controlled by the insurance companies and, truthfully, by the government, because they were paying for Medicare, Medicaid prescriptions, things like that. And what used to be a profitable, not overly profitable, but a profitable business became a very tough area to make a buck. And so I was faced one day, and I saw Congressman Carney walking by, when he was lieutenant governor with Governor Minner, we were offered a plan by the state that we were going to lose $1.02 on every prescription we filled. Now, I don't know about you all, but if we're not a nonprofit business, unless I decided I wanted to give soda away or something like that, we were a for-profit business. We had employees that wanted raises. We had employees that had to pay their rent. We had to pay our rent, things like that. And I made a decision I would not take that plan. And it looked like that was going to be fine and the state was going to have to give in. And unfortunately, one of the players, a company called Eckerd's, which you may remember, Eckerd Drug, they blinked and they decided to take the plan. And within one day, everybody took the plan and we got forced to do it as well. So on that day, I knew that everything was going to start to come crashing down, and I didn't want to be the bad guy that said I couldn't run our business anymore the way we liked, providing service, providing raises to our people, and the like. So I called my friends at Walgreens and CVS and asked them if they were interested. Both were, and the rest is kind of history. The reason I say that about thinking big is only the big guys, unfortunately, are able to have the leverage to make this change. And that was the case here. Even though in Delaware, Happy Harry's had 68% of the market share, which was the highest market share of any drugstore in the country in one state, we were still not able to leverage what national players were able to do through their buying ability and the like. So it was either fish or cut bait. And here's Congressman Carney. He remembers when he and I, or I should say, when Vince McConey and I fought over health care. Anyway, the point is this. We made a decision. It was the right decision for us. It may not have been the right decision for Delaware, because I think we lost a real good company and one that cared about the state. But to be honest with you, we had to do what was right for our company and our people. And that's how we got to here. I welcome the opportunity to join the state after this and work to bring jobs back into the state, and I'm happy we did. We had reached a point of 8.9% unemployment, which was way too high. When I left office in June of last year, we were down to 4.5%. Still too high, but a hell of a lot better than where we started. Delaware is back to work. We added the jobs here at ILC Grayling, which is up the street here in Seaford. Seaford has come alive with some downtown development money, which is going on right across the street here for the apartments. These are things that are going to make a difference. It's not going to be public sector, it's going to be private sector that are going to invest in this city. And I am really excited to see where Seaford is going. So I congratulate you all. Jeff, I congratulate you on your first inaugural TEDx. And I thank you for letting me play a small part in this. So thank you very much.